And you know, us sports moms have something to say.
Yes, we do. We'll have a chance to interview across the board, from athletes to the parents to the coaches to even the trainers.
Yeah. And we're not afraid to share our journey. We're not afraid to tell other moms what we went through in order to raise up a student athlete. So I believe that it's inspirational.
Yeah. We're able to tell our story, the good and the bad.
Yeah, we can. Give back positive information.
Absolutely.
You know, we can empower them.
Yeah, I think it's time for the mothers to be a voice.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah.
It's time for us to let you know what's going on.
Well. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your girl Shannon from Can We Talk Sports, and I am here with our host.
And I'm the owner of Core Fast Tech.
Okay, which one y'all gonna say something?
Yes,
okay, we're gonna do this again. Wait, Kawasaka, hold on, let me do this again. What's up, everybody? This is your girl Shannon from Can We Talk Sports. I am here with my beautiful host. We have
co-host Kawashika.
And we have
Hey, we got Karen in
Listen,
the house.
Excuse the technical difficulties, but you know what I'm saying, we working it out. Listen, I want to say these ladies did a phenomenal job last week. I was sick. I was down. But behind the scenes, I was sending in questions and I'm telling you, last week's guests were awesome. They were awesome. I mean, that mom has a powerful story. I was sitting there like, dang, she got 2 at Notre Dame, and she was, man, I was like, go girl, holding it down. Got 2, was she at 2 at Notre Dame? She has a girl in college, right?
Yes.
Wow, man. They're married 30 years.
Amazing story.
Yes. And then the attorney, Dominic, I mean, I was taking notes. I mean, powerful, about branding and protecting your name. And so she had a lot of good points that we all need, you know what I'm saying? So last week's show, girls, y'all, I'm telling you, y'all ladies was holding it down. I was like, look at my girls, go. Go with your best selves. So, hey, Joey, we got a guest on from Wyoming.
Hey, Joey. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. So what's Valentine's? What'd y'all do?
What?
What'd y'all do for Valentine's? Never mind.
What did you do, Shannon? What did you do for Valentine's?
I was sick. No, listen. I got last week was the opener for the XFL, right? Yeah. So that Saturday, it just like started hitting me. By Sunday, I was down in the bed for 1 week, y'all. I was like harking and coughing and man. So I was resting. But my son surprised his mommy with a gift. Go Jordan. So other than that, But listen, I would like to congratulate. I just read that Baylor is actually winning streak 22 games.
Wow.
Congratulations to the boys basketball team. They're one away from making history.
Right.
Yes.
Texas own Baylor. What?
All right, Baylor.
Number 2. They're number 2 out of 25.
We got 3 DeSoto players in Baylor. All right, Baylor.
I say congratulations to Baylor out there doing something. So,
right now.
I know. So did
That's
anybody watch
so
the
work.
XFL games this weekend?
They play Dallas Renegades play LA, didn't they?
We won't talk
Yeah.
about that. Can we move on to the next? Oh my God.
What happened?
Oh, we
What
lost.
happened? That's my favorite
The
sentence.
LA
What
lost.
happened?
LA lost. It was
What's
actually a good
going
game.
on?
No, you know what? It was really a good game. It was back and forth. And Landry Jones, and you know what? I have to give shout out to Landry because when they were interviewing him and they were asking what's going on, and he was honest. He said, listen, it's me. He didn't say it's my defense. He didn't say, it's my offense. He goes, it's me. He goes, I'm struggling in this beginning right now. He said it's all on my shoulder. And I had to give him shout out. And so then that second half, that arm warmed up and he realized where he needed to. And so it was a back and forth. They touched down, we touched down. They make a point, we make a point. So in the end, the Renegades won. So congratulations to the Renegades. But the defense on both ends were amazing. I have to give it to it. They were fighting. But listen, it was Saturday's game. I don't know if you've seen it, but it was this one particular play. These hits were just like, oh my God, they were crazy. It's like one guy, did you see it? I don't know did you see the post about it?
No, but my husband has just said that they are letting these boys play.
They are letting them hit. I mean, I'm talking hit. I'm not talking little tap. I'm talking these boys are colliding and they're letting them hit.
Wow.
And it's kind of it's kind of scary, but at the same time it's kind of good because it's like you're letting them play. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah. Shout out to the XFL.
Hopefully they got a good insurance plan.
Yeah. It's so far they're still getting pretty good reports about it, but
right. I told y'all.
I really hope the NFL adopt the kickoff though. I love the kickoff because it gives the runner an opportunity, right? I love how they line up. Oh, and then they have to wait till he catches or touch the ball and then go. It gives him an opportunity. So I hope the NFL adopts that. But
I know that's right.
I hope it becomes like a summer league for them.
It's gonna be good. Yeah, it's like I said, it gives them an opportunity. When Landry Jones came out, they were like he hadn't played in 760 days. I was like, dang. You won't blast like that, So your mind go thinking 760 days, like
right.
Yeah.
That's 2 years. Right, 365.
Just put the man on blast. Just say, right. They went down to counting the days. I was like,
but that was good that him as a coach took ownership. As far as what's going on, him taking ownership. That's good. Right. Because you don't hear that often.
Yeah. And I like how they have a mic, so now you can hear the quarterback when they're calling out the plays and the people the journalists, the ones that get to go out and do the interviews, right? It's funny because there's this one, he was tired, just ran the ball. She runs out and asks him a question. He's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh my God, just like get a man of 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. Right. But it was funny. It's good. It's good. I like it. So.
All right.
Oh, we got a Houston Roughneck watching the show. I know. Did they win today? Because I think they played St. Louis. They played St. Louis.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. So,
Mr. Torres says he likes the kickoff. All right.
Yeah, I do too. I like the kickoff. I think it's different.
Yeah,
it's really different. And I also like that the penalty. Okay, so after you make a touchdown, you have a choice to get 1 point, 2 point, a 3 point conversion, right? So I like that. It gives them, it's your choice. It's like, let's go for 1. No, let's go for 3. So I think that's pretty cool too. So I like some of the new rules.
I like that the reporter is going to the players and interviewing them during the game. So wait till we're there on the sideline.
Yeah.
We're going to see if we can sneak up there and interview.
So look, they're on Jordan's team. It's this one that she went up to interview him and she says, so how do you think your team's doing or something like that? And he's like, I don't know what he said, but the way he said it, and then all of a sudden he looks in the camera and he smiles, right? And we just all start laughing. So I mean, he was enjoying the camera. He was blinking and eye winking. I was like, "Oh my God, you're supposed to be into the game." So then they go in the locker room, and so she interviews Jordan's head coach. And so Jordan, you can see him standing up there, and you see Smallwood on the back. She turns around, she grabs him, and so I'm sitting there, and I thought, if he starts, I'm gonna blink my eyes. I'm gonna go through the TV and I'm gonna choke him. Yeah, listen, I reared up like this and I started looking at that TV. And so he started interviewing. I was like, all right, we good. Cause if he would have been we gotta, you know what I'm saying? I would have, boy, I was ready to literally go through the TV and just start choking him. But he did good. So I'm proud of him. Son did good. Good interview. Good interview. So
That's good. That's good.
all right, I'm excited. We have a guest because this is AAU basketball season. I know we've been talking about football, but I think it's time for us to kind of start talking about basketball. Congratulations to McKinney North. My daughter's team won district, so I want to give a shout out to Coach Hamilton. Great job. They're getting ready for the playoffs, and to all those who won district in your school, congratulations. And so now AAU is starting up. And so fees and kind of getting ready for the transition from from school ball now to AAU. And so we are actually, it's exciting because AAU also gives girls or boys an opportunity to still get a scholarship. Because you'd be surprised. You have a lot of colleges going to AAU games. These games are massive. Like here in Texas, I think it's at the Sweet 16 or something like that. I don't know, but these games are massive. I don't know if you guys have been to one. Have you been to a AAU game here in Texas?
It's been a while, and when I went there was so many different courts. It was like, where's the game at? It's like
Yeah,
It's been a while.
they're nice. They're really nice. And there's one here in Texas where recruits of colleges come in, and it's like 3 days. And I mean, it's all over Texas. So you may play 1 minute at Frisco, and then you may have to go to Mesquite, and then you may have to go. So it's a lot of traveling, but it's a lot of colleges that come in and for these young men and young women. So it's really good. AAU is very competitive. It's like college. They be scrapping. It's good though. It's really good. So
Yeah.
our guest, Brandon
Well,
Thomas. Go ahead, huh?
I was gonna say we need to get out there and interview.
Oh man, it's like she said, you walk in and it's like, one place might have 13 courts going at
Yeah.
the same time, and it's like, okay, you're on court 1, and then
Right.
you got to switch up to court 12, and then you got to go back to court 7, and so, but it's a lot of fun, and you
And
have
not a lot of
vendors.
seats, and you be like, okay, let me keep, trying to find a place. It's
Oh
it's
yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy. Vendors are everywhere, so
Yeah.
you never know. It's just and it's school is people coming in from different states. You meet people from California, New York, and so you'd
Yeah.
be surprised, that
Yeah.
it's fun. It's exhausting
Awesome.
because it's an all day event. Sometimes these tournaments are all day, and so you got to pack lunches but
Yeah.
other than that, it's good. It's good. So, listen, we have a guest called Brandon Thompson with Post Up Basketball is going to be joining us as we talk about AAU basketball and how to get your child prepared for AAU sports. So, can we have Brandon come to the show? Hey, Brandon, how are you?
Welcome.
I'm great.
Oh man, so we were just talking about AAU sports and basketball. Like I said, we've been talking about football for the last couple of weeks, and so we're like, hey, let's switch it up and move up to basketball since basketball season is in effect right now. And so you are with Post Up Basketball, am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So tell us a little bit about your organization.
Well, it started with I coach high school basketball right now, and one of the things I used to always say, I want a player that knows the game, that know how to get in the game, know how to do things at situations. So that's why I said I was going to start my personal training. And my training is more like if a kid is a point guard, they're coming to me and I'm breaking it down, teaching them point guard,
Right.
be able to handle the ball, be able to, carry your team. And I teach them like point guards, you're a leader on the court. So what makes my training different, I'm training you situations, how to do it, when to do it. So now when you go back and play for your school team, your coach can just pull you off the bench and tell you, hey, I need this. And you can react quicker because a lot of kids, they make a team, but they don't know their position. So now it's like, mom, dad, coach not playing me.
Mm.
I don't know what to do. And that's when
Mm.
I started telling kids, you need to learn your position. And now during the off season, if your coach told you to be a point guard, you need to know what point guards do. You need to know what a post player does. So when you come to my training, that's I'm training you for that position. So now you can be successful once you go back to your school team.
I
Awesome.
I like that you're training him for that position because that's kind of how I am with my daughter. I'm like, if your position is point guard, I need you to study it. I need you to know, study the greatest point guard there was, and just understand your position. And I really commend you on that because I think what happens is kids play ball, but I realize today's teenagers, a lot of them really don't understand their position versus back, old school or back in the day where you knew the players knew their position. They understood the fundamentals of basketball. Now, and it's no offense to the young ones here, I'm about to say this, but now you have a lot of kids trying to be Steph Curry and LeBron James, and they're seeing the tricks, right? They're seeing the what is it, Euro steps and all this stuff, but don't understand the fundamental of the game. Where here, it sounds like you're teaching them the fundamental, correct?
Yes, correct.
So how you high school, what grade? Are you varsity, JV, or
I'm varsity.
varsity? So tell me a little bit about varsity. How has it been coaching varsity, like the ups and downs, or the scholarships and the recruiting process? How has that been?
Well, I had a situation, a parent brought her son to me and she was like, Coach, he must play D1. He got to play Division One. And I looked at her son. I said, okay, do you want me to be truthful or do you want me to just sell you a used car?
Mm.
So I was like, well, we have 50 states. We got so many colleges in one state. Now you're saying a Division One school. Now my question to you, have you took your son to a Division One game? Have you
Mm.
looked at the roster? Have you looked at a point guard? Have you looked at a power forward? So now you're wanting him to go to Division One, but have you studied Division One? Because
Wow.
then I told her some places you may have to start at a junior college, or you may have to go to a small Division One. But I'm not knocking your child. I'm coming at you like a recruiter.
Hmm.
When
Mm.
you say my son can play Division One, okay, a recruiter gonna ask you how tall, what is he good at, how's his grades, what did he make on the ACT, and I told her if you cannot answer those questions, that's where you have to start first. So now you can say my son qualifies, my son knows how to play. Now you can have the opportunity to go check schools out at that division.
So
I
when
love
do the
that.
recruiting start in high school? Like when do the recruiters come for the basketball players?
Well, it's all about what that child can do. I had a player, she was in eighth grade. She averaged 20 points.
Wow.
They can start looking at your child eighth grade.
Yeah.
So that's the key
Oh,
too,
okay.
making your child
Okay.
do something great on the court. Because people starts to talk, and then like I have coaches I know, I can mention them to them, but they're not going to go by what you're saying. They want to say, okay, I want to come see them. I want to
Yeah.
see what you're
Gotcha.
saying. Because everybody can say, hey, I have a girl, she averaged 30 points. And then 3 games, she barely gets 10 points. But you can get recruited. People can come see you. And that's with AAU. A lot of people come see them, but it's just what you do on the court. That's what most coaches say. I need to see what that player can do.
So
So,
it's a little
Brandon,
different. Go ahead.
tell how did you get into coaching? How did you get into basketball? Did you play basketball? How did you develop a love of basketball?
Well, I played for Crichton College in Memphis, Tennessee. Uh, our coach, he was a trainer. So we would come help him. He was training middle school girls. I worked for Memphis Athletic Ministry. I did volunteering coaches after school, and we had a team that would use our gym, and he was at one of the charter schools in Memphis. And he asked me, could you help my girls, show them some drills? And I was like, yes, sir. I showed him the drills. Next thing you know, he said, I have a opening for assistant coach. And
Hmm.
I was like,
Oh,
okay, just playing ball. I'm like, that's cool. Um, he started letting me run the practice. And then the principal came in and saw me. And that next season, the end of the season, he said, I'm finna retire. I'm telling the principal to hire you. And at first I was like, oh no, I don't want to do that. And it was girls. So he was like, just try it. Just try 1 year. You built the relationships with the girls. Just try it and go from there. And the following season, we we won the district. We went all the way to the north half, but we lost. But I was like, this it. This my gift. Because one
Hmm.
of the things parents would tell me, they was like, Coach, you show my daughter what to do. Most coaches just say go hard. And I was like,
Hmm.
that's what the coaches told me. This is what you
amazing.
do. This is how you do it. And then I started. Right now, I've been coaching. This is my 11th year. But what I've noticed is just when somebody give you an opportunity, just go out there and let them know. And that's all I did. And once I did that, that's how I became a coach.
So
Wow.
Amazing.
you're really big on teaching skills
Yes,
to the T.
yes,
Okay, so the recruiting process, let's go back to that. Technically, the recruiters can't talk to the kids till the 11th grade. Am I correct? Even this,
right, right,
yeah, okay, because
right,
I know that's with football as well.
right, right.
Um, so, what have now? Did you have any children that play sports?
Yes, they're still playing now.
Okay, so did you coach them as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So tell us about that journey because I've seen like my daughter's AAU coach. He has a daughter. He has two girls that play, and I have to give my hats off to him because he is not favoritism. If they don't get it right, I've seen him pull those girls off and bench them. And actually, it seems like he's a little more harder on his girls, but at the
Mm.
same time, it's not favoritism. It's like, look, if you can't get the job done, I'll get somebody else. So I really commend Coach G on that. As a father coaching, how has that been? You know, when you go home and it's like, okay, I'm dad, but out on this court, I'm coach.
Right.
How are you able to balance that?
Well, this is my rule. Once we come in the house, unless y'all talk about it, I don't talk about it. Because when I come home, it's cut it off. Now on
Mm.
Saturdays, we go in the gym, my kids, and we working and we training. Now when practice start, it's hey, get on the line, run. You know better. Because I took the time to train you one on Saturday. So now I don't have to yell at my kids. I'm not pushing them hard. What I've learned, take them to the gym and teach them what you want and show how to play. So now when we go in the game, I can just say, hey, what you doing? You know what you're supposed to do. Because I took you in the gym. I showed you. I'm putting extra time with you because you're my kids. But all the hollering and screaming at you, I'm not doing that because that's why I take them to the gym, show them. We watch film, we look at it, we study it. I've learned how to ask them in the middle of the game, what do you see? Because you're with me all the time. So what I learned and my advice for people that coach their own kid, teach them the game. Teach them how you coach. So now that's your coach on the court. That can be your leader for the team.
So
That's
do
good.
the others feel that there's because dad's your coach, you get away with, have you ever had any problems like that, or any parents brought that to the attention, your dad, so it seemed like your kid get more playing time than my kid. Have you ever came across
Well,
anything like that?
I had one parent, but it's because she thought her child was the greatest. So she did
Every
every
parent.
right. She did everyone like that. But what I
Wow.
ended up doing, I started her child and I showed her. Because some parents you have to show them. They'll
Mm.
come at you, put my kid should play. Your kid do this. Why you give your kid this? Okay, I'm starring your kid. Now they can see. And what happened with that situation, she had to come back and apologize. She was like,
Wow.
Coach, I understand your child know the game. I just wanted my child to play. I said, well, ma'am, you can say that. Don't say your child just great, the top player. And now I put them in that situation and they didn't do right.
Mm.
So look, listen, y'all, he put it to the test. He's like, all
Yes,
right,
you
I'm gonna
did.
show you. I ain't even gonna say nothing. Put on out
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
Wow, that's so tell us
That's
a little bit. Oh, you had something, Karen?
no, I was just saying that's good. What I'm getting from you, Brandon, is you're putting the responsibility back on the parents. When they
Yeah,
come and talk to you crazy about their kids being able to play, you say, have you done your homework? Because yeah,
right.
I'm gonna teach them, but
Uh,
you as a parent, you need to do your homework as far
Right.
as ACT, all of that kind of stuff. Because if that's not done, it don't matter if he can play or go to D1 if you haven't did
That's
your
right.
what you're responsible for.
that's
So
right.
I love that, Brandon.
Thanks.
Wow. So tell us a little bit more in detail. You have something, Believe and Transform Basketball.
Yes, ma'am.
So can you tell us a little bit about that organization?
Yes. Well, I always put God first in everything.
I like
So
that.
my best friend, he was like, you gotta put something together. Just pray about it. Ask God to show you. So I was like, okay. Every day I was just writing names down. I said, okay, Lord, what can I put? I gotta have something different, but I gotta have you in it. And
Right.
people I always do, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. You know. So now I prayed, I said, okay, Lord. I woke up in the middle of the night and I wrote BT. So I was like, BT, that's my initials. Okay. Now how can I break it down and still give you the glory? And
Come
Mm.
then
on.
that's when I began to think about faith. And I said, man, faith is about believing. So now
Mm.
when you have the faith, you're gonna believe. Now you're gonna what? You're gonna transform. So now I
Transform.
look at life, it's about believing to be something great. Now you gotta what? You gotta transform. So once I
Come
Wow.
picked
on.
my initial BT and I said believe and then transform. So I'm saying God giving me all this knowledge. I'm believing
Mm.
to be great, a great coach, great AAU program. So now the next thing now is transforming into that. So
Hmm.
now that's why I came with that. And then I tell players, you want to play ball, you want to be great, you got to believe. Now when you
Good.
come in here and train, you're going to transform. So now when you hit that court, people going they just going to see how great you are cuz first you have to believe and then you transform.
All
Mm.
right now.
Okay.
Listen,
Now,
That's
Mr.
good.
Brandon.
go ahead. Everybody give him a snap, snap. Go ahead now. What?
Okay, real
You better
quick, Mr.
say that.
Brandon. I, I
Wow.
said, God, what shirt you want me to wear today? Listen, listen, listen. Pay attention. Watch, watch, watch. Can y'all see that?
Yeah, call God.
Oh God.
Come on. So this right on time, Mr. Brandon.
Yeah.
Believe
Wow.
and transform. Not only believing, you have to transform. That's it.
That's
Wow.
right. I think we lost him for a second. So why Brian tries to get him back. I like that he has put God
Right.
first with this team. So that means, and I can't wait till he come back because I'm going to ask him. So that means you open with prayer. And do you guys have like Bible study? And I think that's fine because cover
Right.
them. We cover our kids in prayer, like Lord, cover them before they go out there. Injuries are real,
Yeah.
accidents are real. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just the things that they go through and they face as athletes, the depression, the frustration. So if you have a coach who is keeping God first and believing and investing over these children and wanting to keep them covered in prayer, that's important.
Yeah.
Because then it's not just about the sport, it's about who they are. The sport is just a vehicle. We've talked about that all the time. So for him to, my hat's off. I commend him for that. So,
Yeah.
Brian, do we have you back?
Yes.
I was saying, I don't know if you heard, but we, as ladies, were saying we commend you on Believe and Transform is keeping God first because of you giving this to God and being very protective over the young people. So, with that being said, um, do you guys, is it just, do you guys have like Bible study? Do you have teachings with them? I mean, what all's included in this organization?
Well, we do a like a 5 minute devotion at the end of practice.
Wow.
Uh, I have a guy that'll start this year. He's gonna do a character building where the boys, tying ties, iron shirts, what shirts to tuck in, what shoes to
Wow.
wear, what type of pants, and the girls, we got, the importance. I have a lady coming in with your hair, with your nails, what's a too short dress, the proper way you should sit as a young lady. So I have
Absolutely.
a lot of people coming in this year because the thing I said, I want my AAU to be where a parent can walk in and say, Coach Thompson, I'm glad I brought my child here. You
Yeah.
got him. That's it. And I don't have to deal with a parent saying, Coach, you said y'all was gonna get back late. You didn't tell them to call me. This coach practice was too long. So by being a coach for 10 years, going on 11 years, I've learned with a program, you got to start from the bottom, get that
That's
foundation.
right.
So
Yeah.
now that when that parent tells coach what time practice, I'm gonna email it, I'm gonna text you, and I'm still gonna tell you when you walk in the door what time we're gonna end, because you never want to deal with a parent as a coach, a mad parent.
Yeah, I've seen them. I've s- I've I've
A
seen a
man.
couple of them. I'll be like, dang, yeah.
That's why we got this show, Brandon. We're gonna try to help keep that madness down by educating them and hearing all different sides that go into the game. We need them to hear the coach's side. The coaches are not automatically after their child. They just need to understand that everybody is human. Everybody makes mistakes.
Right.
And there's a right way and a wrong way to deal with situations. And so that's one of the reasons why we have this show.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So my other question is this: you're talking about you deal with the athlete, but have you ever noticed anything with the parent? Because you have athletes who give a lot of pressure at home to be
Right.
great. And
Yeah.
so have you encountered that to where you've had to pull the parent to the side and say, okay, listen, I've noticed so and so mentally, because on our last couple of shows, we talked about mental health. Right. And these athletes, because they want to please the coach, they want to please their parents, they want to go to D1 colleges, they want to do all this. Um, have you ever had to pull a parent to the side and talk to them about maybe what their student athlete is dealing with coming from the home?
Oh yes, 2 years ago, I was helping my sister with her team, and she had a top player, all district player. Her dad was sitting in the front, like the front row, the bleachers,
Hmm.
and I always heard parents say, "Coach Thompson, you got to watch her dad. He's gonna coach her all the way through." So
Wow.
I said, okay, let me just watch him. A few games I watched him. He would tell her to come over there and doing free throws. He'll tell her stuff. So we got into a district game, and I was talking to her, and her dad was like, "Come here," because the other team was shooting free throws. And I said, "If you go over there, you might as well take all your stuff and sit over there with them, because this is a district game, and we need you to focus in. You are our top player."
Wow.
And he heard me tell her, and he began to yell across the court, "Coach, that's my daughter." I said, "Okay, that's your daughter. That's fine." So after the game, I told him, I said, "Dad, let me tell you something. You work a job. If I come on your job telling you what to do on your job, and I'm not your supervisor gonna get mad at that." I said, "What's the difference with you? You coming on my job, you telling my worker what to do and what not to do, and I'm her supervisor. How you think I feel?" "Well, coach, I said, your daughter is good. She just needs you to support her. Don't be the coach for her. If you
Wow.
support her, encourage her, she's gonna make it. But if you start, because your girl is good, you too hard on her. Now you and push daddy away. Now you just like these people on the outside. You want to be her coach because she's great. You want to push her to the limit. But she may come to you and say, "Daddy, I don't want to play ball no more."
Oh, wow.
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 Okay. I mean, got to get the snaps to Coach Thompson. I mean, like for
Right.
real. I
He
like how
And
you
you
put
know what, Mr. Thompson? Yeah.
no, go ahead, Kawasaka.
I was just gonna say it's his wisdom. Like he's not arguing back with the parent. He's basically setting a standard. The way
Right,
you could even tell the way he talks. He don't talk to the parent in a disrespectful way. He came to him man to man, and I think that's what it is. You want to be respected. You got to give respect, and the way he's coming is, I mean, he's giving wisdom, and that's just real. He don't
He
want nobody
is.
coming on his job telling him what to do at the end of the day. And then you can't, and you don't have no choice but to back up and be like, you know what, coach, you right.
You're
But
right.
That's
yeah,
right.
and I like that. Yeah,
Yeah, I like
he's
that is
really
smooth.
giving
Yeah.
him wisdom instead of going back and forth with a parent. Like that's not his job at the end of the day. And so I think even with this show, um, it's giving light for the parent and the coach, to get along or respect one another so these kids can do what they called to do or their purpose. It's not no
Yeah.
back and forth, the parents and the coach. If we can get that together, then I mean the kids can go a little further.
right,
Yeah, because I see a lot of that in these groups. I'ma just say that. I do.
You
We're
do.
talking about the parents, we're talking about the coaches. It's like back and forth. No, we need to be on one accord. We need to be on one
Yeah.
accord. It's not nobody's fault. So yeah, Mr. Thompson, I love that. Like you're not coming in a rude way. You're not
right,
coming, oh, I'm the coach. You're coming with a purpose, and you standing up with, okay, this is what I do. So and it's not disrespectful. So it just we need to get that relationship together between the parent and the coach. So
And he's
yeah.
not even and he's not embarrassing the parents. You notice
right,
Right.
that?
right,
You know, when they're
Absolutely.
coming at my kid, okay,
yeah,
Right.
put that
right,
child in, and he sits back and watch. And he
Right.
right,
and so to the point, the parents, like we said before, they had to come up and say, "Okay, I missed that one." I like that. Some coaches will they kind of get into a brawl right there in front of everybody.
Oh
Exactly.
yes.
But he doesn't. He's like, all right,
Right.
I'll put your kid in. And he sits there and he watch because he knows he already see what's going to happen.
Right.
That
Yeah.
comes with a lot of wisdom and experience, and like you say, and having God in you too. Honestly,
Yeah. Now,
absolutely.
Coach Thompson, you know, with girls basketball, you know that there is a trend or something that's more dominant, and that's with sexuality in girls basketball. How do you deal with that?
Well, with girls, because that's what I started coaching, so it's been 10 years with girls. Uh,
Mm.
I always have a team meeting with my parents, with my team. I do parents together with their daughter. Then I bring the girls in the locker room, and I always have a witness with me. I usually bring a woman in there with me. The biggest thing I tell them this Coach Thompson, I'm the head coach. This is my environment. Okay, so everything you do, and it's not for my environment, don't bring it in here.
Hmm.
I said, if you bring it in, I'm finna tell your mama. We finna meet. We finna do what? I'm the one. I tell them all the time. I'm the one gonna tell everything. So you can pin a tail
Old
on my
school.
butt, cause I'm telling. Anything go down, I'm telling mama. And I had one girl. She said, "Coach, what you mean?" I said, "Let me give you an example."
Mhm.
I said, "If I cuss, you can cuss." So she was just like, "Oh man, Coach, we can." So a couple of practices went by. A couple of months went by. She came back to me. She said, "Coach, you don't cuss." I said, "Now you see." I said, "You don't cuss because I don't cuss. So whatever you have going on, if I don't allow it in my gym or in my locker room, you're not gonna do it. And if you do it, we
Wow.
finna meet and I'm finna tell." Because where I learned that with an old coach, he said, as your season go long, as girls continue to play, something can come in that locker room,
Mm.
and if you never address it, it can mess your whole program up.
Wow.
So that's
Mhm.
why I got that from an older coach. He said, lay your foundation. Do not lower your standards
Mm.
because you got this top player, but she wilding out. She doing everything. She got the girls scared, trying to do so much different mess with them. So what I've learned,
Hmm.
have a team meeting, have a parent meeting. And I tell my players, if you do something that I don't allow, I'm telling your parents.
He said, "Oh, I'm telling."
Wow.
He said, "I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I'm gonna be a snitch, so you
Right.
Okay,
might not
Okay.
want to
man.
do it." I
That's
like
old
him.
school.
That's all.
I
I'm a
told you.
snitch. I'm telling you
Well,
right now. So don't get it twisted. I'm gonna
Right.
snitch. So
Right.
whatever you bring in here, I'm tell you know that little kid. Ooh, I'm telling.
Right.
That's Coach Thompson. He gonna let you know I'm telling.
Right.
And I
yeah,
love his
that's
standard. Whatever
good.
you don't see me doing, that
Right.
means you can't do.
Right.
So
You
I
can't
like how
do.
he did that. If I cuss, you can cuss. She got excited.
Oh, she got
So
too
they're
excited.
being accountable to each other.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
That, oh, I
Yeah.
love
So
that.
basically they'll be afraid. They're gonna be like, man, we can't do this. He don't do this. We can't bring this
Right.
mess in
Right.
here. Cause if we do, he gonna tell. So they're learning to that's gotta stay out there. But in here,
Right.
we don't disrespect. We're not gonna bring this in here.
Right.
And they're holding everybody, they're holding each other accountable. So I tell you what, coach, this has been a great interview and just talking with you about what you're doing and the fact that you're keeping God first. That's first of all, that's a salute to you
Thank you.
because now in schools, especially in schools, you have to be careful with the different religions and praying and all that and different things like that. But the fact that you're like, no, God, I'm going to keep you first whether they like it or not, is my hat is truly off to you for that. And from the sounds of it, you have led some tremendous young people mentally, spiritually, emotionally to the next level. and that's important because I think we forget that you coach them, but then they go on to another coach. But if you, like you said, if you build that foundation that they got from you here and
Yeah.
train and just that few minute devotion, you know what I'm saying, crossing the
Absolutely.
Karen right after practice, um, then they'll remember that going on to the next level. So
Right.
thank you for joining the show. It was really good. Now, can you tell people how to find you, or who, if they want their kid to be a part of your organization, or if they just want to check out to see what you're doing? Can you kind of tell them how they can find you?
On Facebook, Brandon Thompson. Right now, I'm doing my AAU tryouts, February the 29th, third grade to 11th grade, boys and girls. And I just want you to just trust me with your child and just let me show you what I can do.
Well, you heard that. February, what did you say? February
29th.
29th, third grade. Oh, Lord. That's funny. I know that's
Well,
hilarious.
definitely. Yeah.
Third graders running
Got to
around there. I
start them
tell you
early.
what.
Yeah, you got to start
Yeah.
early.
Yeah. They're
Mhm.
hilarious. You
Well,
guys have
thank
any?
you, Mr. Thompson.
You're welcome.
So you, I mean, third grade. So you're, starting with the basic as far as even telling the third graders as far as what's a point guard, what's a guard, and the fundamentals
Mm.
Right,
and building that up. Just
right,
think if they start there early
Yeah.
and they build up, they
The
will be a
understanding.
master of the game.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
Well, I
Wow.
always thought basketball started with the fundamentals. Like that is not nothing new. That's how it go, right?
right. That's right.
Well,
That's
some
Well,
of
good.
it, some of them, some do, and some
mm-mm.
don't. Some just give them the ball, tell them to run out there. Because I used to coach my
Right,
twins.
Yeah.
I was the assistant coach, and they were second grade, and second, third grade. And so the head coach would just give them a ball, tell them, you got to shoot it in the basket. And it's funny because then they could carry the ball, right? And
right,
the refs, really, you could see them because see, my twins played football. So when they started playing basketball, I don't know if they just couldn't transition from football, but these jokers was tackling. Like, it's
On the
basketball,
basketball.
yo. Yes. So, like, listen, they get the ball, right? And they be juking and turning and spinning and running to the basket to shoot it. You like, bounce the ball. What is you doing?
right,
And
right,
then if another kid get the ball, they run down there. I've seen Christopher tackle. You're like, it's basketball,
Oh
boy.
wow.
Oh, it's funny. So at that
Yeah.
age, they don't really call that much traveling on them and different things like
Right.
that.
Right.
But so to really teach fundamentals, you could teach it, but the kids are so excited to play. It's challenging to catch it, if that
right,
Yeah.
makes sense. But by the time they're fourth, fifth, third, well, at the end of their third, fourth grade, now you start to really put the fundamentals into play. So yeah, girl, it's funny to watch these second graders play ball. You will be on the floor. I
Yeah.
was rolling. I was like, oh God, I was taking my kids out. Time out, and come get the bench. You over here tackling kids, running and juking and spinning. Like, oh my gosh, it was funny. So
Yeah,
anyway,
like playing at a, when you go play at a park, I mean, you play at the rec. I don't necessarily
Mhm.
see them as far as the basic, like I hear Brandon doing. He's really breaking it down and the purpose of each one of those positions and how
Right.
they interact with each other. I think it's probably just a whole nother level. I just haven't heard it to that degree.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
so,
it's good.
It's
I think
really
all
it's
coaches
really
should do that if they're
normal. But, hey, it's 2020. Because I mean, my boys played basketball when they were small too. Like when football season was over with, it was basketball. It was always so. It's been a long time, but I remember fundamentals now.
yeah.
Layup on out of
yeah,
here.
Lay
yeah.
is layup
So I
a
don't
fundamental?
know.
Come on, is
Yeah,
It,
layup ain't a fundamental.
layup.
Coach, Coach Thompson, isn't layup is a fundamental.
yes, because
Well,
that's what people
Yes.
What
forget.
I'm thinking
That's
about as far as the position, like he's saying what a guard and what a point guard. I never knew what a point. I thought the point guard is just the person that take the ball down the court.
yes, that's the point. The point guard and the shooting guard
Shooting
bring it
guard.
up.
Brings it up, yeah.
See,
Yeah.
Because Jaden plays shooting guard and point guard. Yeah.
I
yeah,
always remember this the shortest person on the floor, on the
right.
court.
Shortest person, point guard is the shortest person. Me too.
But that is a hard position, believe it or not. People don't
It is
understand. That is a
the
very hard
hardest.
position. It's the
Yeah.
hardest position, because a point guard has to really know the court. I mean, it's not just they got the ball and they're coming down. I mean, you really got to know. It's like you have to have this. You can't. Your vision has to
Like a
literally cover the
quarterback.
whole entire court,
Right.
right?
Yeah, like
Right.
a
Um,
quarterback.
Quarterback.
yes.
Yes. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
hmm and so even just to getting there, calling the plays, it's not an easy position as people think. It
Well,
really
see,
isn't.
I don't see I've been going to the games and I don't see no plays. I'm seeing them running up and down the court. I'm like, when are y'all gonna call the play and settle the game down?
But
They just taking it and running
Karen,
back and forth.
that's because they haven't been taught. That's the key.
that's right.
They're doing
That's
what
right.
they think is right. That's the whole
Hmm.
point of coaches, to
That's
teach them.
right.
Yeah,
So
That's
now,
right.
if
yeah,
your child playing with a coach like that, and you better start thinking about it. Hey, I got to get him out of there because it's
Hmm.
like he's not learning nothing. So if he go to college and play, and the coach say run the lanes, go down, make a L, pop out to the corner, come up with your hand up,
Mm.
keep moving till you get the ball. And he may go stand in the corner and say, "Hey, I'm open." And now the coach like, "I can't use you, son."
Can't use you. That's right. And they have different
Wow.
plays. Like, I've heard my daughter's name coach called Texas, Texas, Oklahoma, Oklahoma. And like you
Right,
said, that's a play. You run down, pop out, go across, pop out, and then swing and all that stuff. And so, like you said, if you're just going out playing basketball, then it's damaging because when you get to college, they literally call plays. There's no you just pop
right,
out over here and pop out over there and run around and do all this stuff. No, there's a play that everybody has to run together in order to move the ball around. And so learning and understanding the plays is very important and the fundamentals of the ball. But like I said, you got all these kids trying to Euro step and
right.
and drop, and then they drop this is the one to get me, coach. They stand there and they drop a three. They
Right.
hand be in the air hanging like it's broke. And the
Yeah.
ball don't go nowhere near the basket, then miss the
Right.
basket, and they still standing there. And this is the sad thing. My husband, I love him. He jumps up, follow your shot. Like, what you
right.
doing? And they just
Oh,
standing there,
you
the hand be just hanging like it's broke, y'all. And
Yeah.
it's like, and won't follow a shot.
Right.
They
So
will
yeah.
not
I
follow
have
a
a drill.
shot.
I have a drill for that. You
Come
shoot,
on.
you fall it. If you don't, you got 10 push-ups.
There you
Okay,
go.
you better
So
say
because you
that.
got to remember what you practice, that's what you're gonna do in the game.
That's right.
Exactly.
Mm.
That's right.
Exactly. And you
Back
and
in the day,
it's
they
it's
used to have
crazy.
suicide.
Right.
Something.
Yeah. So like I said, this has been good. I love how you teach. Listen, you guys, if you're in Mississippi, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Oxford, Mississippi.
If you're
Mm.
in Mississippi, please take your child, boys or girls, and go and try out. It's a travel basketball team. He's teaching the fundamentals, and that's what we need. It's important because fundamentals is not just about basketball, it's character building
Mm.
because you're learning life. And you can use these fundamentals in everything you do because you got to learn fundamentals even when it comes to a job, school. If you don't understand the basis of why you're at that position, if you don't understand the basis of life, you'll get messed up. So if you allow a coach to really teach you fundamentals of something, then it makes life easier. That's how I look at it. It's a
Yeah,
disciplinary. You know,
absolutely.
you're learning discipline where you want to be able to do your own thing, but you got to stick to, coach told me to run this play. I just can't go do my own thing. You know,
Thank
and right.
That's
It's really good. So
Hey, Brandon, do you have
good.
any have you started any coaching clinics where you're actually teaching other coaches
yeah, that's good.
what you're teaching to the girls?
Well, I'll start that this summer. with
All
the
right.
coaches
All
clinic
right.
because
I'll
I
hold
just
you
had
to it, Mr.
somebody.
Trump.
I just had somebody say, "Hey, coach, you need to do the clinic." So they set it up,
Yeah.
That's good.
and I'm gonna have my
That's
first one in
good.
May.
Okay, we might need to
Good.
ship a whole bus load of coaches. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna.
Yeah. We might have to come bring you back on the show so you can invite some coaches because I
Yeah,
mean what you're teaching
it's
is
important.
really good.
It's
It's
very
really
important. Last thing, the recruiting process for the kids that are in 11th and 12th grade. Do you help the parents understand the process of recruiting? Because you have parents that really don't understand um, the NCAA rules and the grades. Do you sit down and teach the parents what to look for and what not to look for when it comes to schools and other recruiters?
Oh yes, because I tell them don't sign fast. Uh, do all your visits.
Yeah.
Make sure if that child scored a 21 on the ACT, let him or her keep taking it. Um, I have a best friend. He does a showcase, and I've been telling a lot of parents about showcases, how you can go take them and get more looks. Because some parents, if you never been to college, you never played college
Mm,
sports, so that first offer, I just told a couple of parents last week, don't be so quick to sign a junior college, because junior college always gonna come first,
Hmm.
especially if like you didn't score high on the ACT. Weigh it out. Don't be so quick to sign, and then because you never know, someone's coming for you, but they're gonna see will you sign a school before they come. So
mm,
my thing, I tell parents, just make sure those grades right. Make sure that ACT score as high as it can go, and then sit and wait. Don't be so quick. You got to sign today. Recruiters, they gonna call you. They gonna say they gonna tell you to come. This you got to hurry up and sign. So I tell a lot of them, just wait. Have your patience, because if your child is great, it's they're gonna get a scholarship. It's
That's
not
right.
like they're not. But and then kids that's not so good, that's why I tell them to go to showcases, get on an AAU team, develop your game. So now, if you feel like this is your only offer, now you sign. But if you are all American, just wait.
right. Now, I see a lot of basketball players going to prep schools and getting another year of being able to be seen. Have you had any experience with prep schools?
Well, I have, and I respect prep schools, but a lot of them guys they go to prep school, it's because they didn't qualify.
Wow.
Hmm.
That's because
Right,
if you
great.
qualified, you don't have to go there. But
Right.
some kids just for some reason, prep school was made for kids that need to learn a little more before they go to
Yeah,
college.
Mm,
It's not made for a kid that's great already.
right,
Because if you qualified, why would you go to a prep school?
right.
right, right,
mm. Quick
right.
question. Is it possible for the kids to go after high school to go to NBA? Or they changed their rule?
They changed
Coach,
that rule, so
they did. Okay.
you have to do a year. But this is my thing.
Aren't they changing it back though?
They're trying, but as me being a parent, and you can get a free education,
Man, you better get that free education.
I'm getting that education
I
because
know that's right.
anything, and then you don't want a young kid out there that's 19, 18 with some grown men. You'll have to get a babysitter. So my
Wow.
thing is this. My thing is this.
Shh.
If you taking care of your body, because you hear people say, "What if I get hurt?" If you taking care of your body, I at least do 2 years in college,
That's right.
Mm,
just
Well, they don't.
because you know.
I was going to say they don't understand. So you're sending your 17, 18 year old out with some grown men who's been there, done that, seen that.
Right,
They're not mentally ready.
right,
Okay.
and
So
that's
when
it.
you're
That's it.
when you take a young man and you're sending him out there with these grown men, they don't even understand what they're going to get attacked with. You got okay, I'm trying to stay focused. You have what we call professional women,
Right.
Right.
Groupies.
That know how
groupies.
to get
Ex- they're,
Right.
they're professionals, right? Like these chicks
you.
is
Right.
really professional, like for
Right.
real. And
Know
so
what to do.
they know what to do, the lingo, the act, the swag, everything. And so you
Mhm.
send this 17-year-old out there, 18, he's gonna get swallowed up. Right.
Yeah.
All the
It's
time.
all the time. And then, and the late nights and he's not ready to handle that. And you go from having what, $200 in your bank account, and now this
To
kid's got
Mm.
a
ten
million
Millions.
million.
to 2 million. He's gonna
Right.
luse his mind.
Right.
He's not ready.
But that's why I tell, like, if you have that superstar and okay, now you have to think like, who can I trust to
That's
be
right.
with my son or daughter?
That's
So
right.
now, if they make it big, they can go with them really, because you need that. Because like you saying, they're young, but you
They're young.
need that person to say, "Hey, get up, you got to go to practice." Then having somebody that you gonna pay, and they just gonna be like, "Yeah, as long as I get you up, I'm getting paid." But when you can take somebody that player knows, that trust, now you're investing.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna make them stay in the lead longer.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right.
Mm.
That's
So
good.
they're not ready. I hope they
Well,
don't
you know
pass
what?
it.
Yeah. Um, I thought about Kobe because Kobe came out the league at 17, 18
Him and
Yeah.
year.
LeBron.
Was he 18? Yeah, he was
Yeah,
18 years
him
old.
and
18.
LeBron came out of high school.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I thought about that, but
I
free
mean,
college,
e-
percent scholarship, get your degree. Absolutely.
Network. Yeah,
yeah,
network, meet people. So now, if you blow your knee, you can go back to the University of Alabama. You,
Mhm.
they'll say, okay, you feel like coaching? Yes, sir. I can start my program. See, now you have that network. But if you do that
Mhm.
1 year, you go, then you get hurt. People gonna be like, who are you?
right.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
Wow.
It's just the stability. They need to grow a little bit more.
Right,
So to
right.
come out of, because I think from baseball, you can come out of high school and go to professional, if I'm not
That's
Minor.
mistaken.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But baseball is still,
They had different levels.
they had different levels, but baseball is a little more grounded. It's something about baseball that I have learned out of all the sports seem to be a little bit more grounded
It is.
than
Yeah.
basketball. I don't know if it's because basketball is such a fast pace, football is such a fast pace. Baseball is not really a fast pace. Baseball
Right.
is very fundamental. With
Right.
when I
Right.
go to Julian's practices, it's really structured. I mean, the hand have to be held in the proper way, where the thumb is properly on the bat and your arm is properly up this way. It's so fundamental. It's
Right.
I mean, you just can't grab a bat and swing. I thought
No.
you could. I thought, oh, you just get up to the bat, you just grab a bat. I mean, I used to play softball, but I didn't think about it when I went to till I went with Julian, and I realized this coach was literally from head to toe structuring Julian's body. I
Right.
mean, from his hip to his knee pivoting to his foot. So football is so a slow pace. Their process of thinking is different than football and basketball.
Right.
Yeah.
Does
Right.
that mean so they're actually at in high school, their mentality is to me is a little bit more grounded and advanced because they have to really strategically think when it comes to baseball. You're
Right.
pitching, your hand has to be a certain way, a curve, a pivot. Your mind is constantly being challenged to think. So
That's right.
coming out of high school is a little different. Football and basketball, them jokers need to
No.
go to college and stay all 4 years.
Amen. You right
Get a
about that.
fifth one if you can,
Right. That's right. That's right.
because I'm telling you, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's right.
So
Wow. They pay
Well,
more too. Don't they? Oh,
baseball,
I had
Baseball.
yeah,
Yeah.
baseball is a
Baseball
is
got
a is a guaranteed contract. It's
right.
different, yeah.
yeah.
Then and they don't get hurt as much as the other sports.
That's right.
Yeah.
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 If I'd known now, I would have told my son to be Tiger Woods, go play golf. It's
Right.
you know,
That's
it's a
right.
little more that's a little more grounded too. You know, it's a little safe there. But no, I'm playing. But he plays football, so
Yeah.
and the other one plays baseball. But great show. Right, ladies? Great show. I'm
Yes.
telling you a lot of information.
Yeah.
Again, Brandon, thank you so much for coming on. Continue to do what you do. You know, if you're in the Mississippi area, please, please give him a call. Check him out. Any coaches who've watched this, I hope that you got something from it. Parents, you got something from it. Fundamentals. If your kid is going to play a sport, don't leave it up to the coaches, really. Why don't you help them understand the fundamentals? Whether it's you can Google fundamentals for basketball, discover the greatest basketball player there was, you know, in that position that your child wants to play in, whether it's point guard, whether it's shooting guard, whatever it is, have your child do research. Sit down, take out a piece of paper, quiz them, ask them questions so they can understand their position. It's no different than a job. You got to know your job. You just can't go on there. You got to know the ins and out of your job. You have to study it. Well, it's the same thing. Teach your child the ins and out. Help them study it. Help them be the best that they can be, which makes the coach's job a little bit more easier. You know, everybody kid is great. We all know that. Parents, listen.
Yeah.
Everybody is quick to say my kid is the best, but let the coaches do their job. That's why they're considered the coach. If you think you can do better, then you coach. Other than that, sit down on the bench, enjoy the game, and let the coaches do their job. And if you have a problem, go to the coach privately, not in front of the kids. You know, pull them to the side privately, sit down, ask questions, and then go from there. So, this is your girl, Shannon, with Can We Talk Sports? And we have,
Host, co-host, Kawashika.
and we have,
Karen Reese, baby.
so listen, y'all got to come back next week. We gonna
Yeah.
have the great listen. I had to go back when I found out who we bringing on next week. I had to go back. Remember when we talked about you sent me the email about the guest that wants to come on from South
Oh, well, she's gonna be a pre-recorded, so we'll be posting her later.
later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. Kwasika, you found out who we're gonna be pre-recording?
Mm-mm, not yet.
Listen, that's a bad
I
girl.
like surprises.
That's a bad girl. That's all I'm gonna say. I went back and watched YouTube to watch her on her previous show that she'd be on. Have you seen it?
Uh,
Karen, you ain't seen it?
no, Kawacha, her name is Bernice. Bernice from
From
South Beach Toll.
South Beach
Okay.
Show. Have you ever seen it?
I had
I
never seen it.
listen,
My daughter knew about it, but
I
I didn't
wouldn't
know
want to
about
make her mad.
it.
And she a coach too. That means she a tough cookie.
Oh yeah, so I can't wait to
Ooh,
talk to her.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait. Oh, I'm gonna be on the floor because
Yes,
she bring listen, on South Toe, the girl was bad. So she brings it. So I can imagine how she is on that football field. She seemed
yes,
like she brings it on the football field.
yes.
So I'm pretty
I want
excited
to
about
see
it.
how she deal with a woman dealing with mothers. So that's gonna be a great, great
Oh,
topic.
I know, right? Oh my gosh, that's
Yes,
gonna be hilarious. So anyway, um, have a great night, everybody. Thanks for joining the show and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. Can We Talk Sports? Have a great night. Bye.
bye.
bye.